Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 9th chapter. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take thee a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before the Lord Yahweh. And remember that Aaron had to stay, as per the previous chapter, after being officially, consecrated and so on. He and his sons had to stay in the tabernacle, I believe, for 7 days. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak. So this is the 8th day. Thou shalt speak, saying, Take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before the Lord Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil. And remember the meat offering being, in this case, like a gift offering or a grain offering. So it's just like flour mingled with oil. For today the Lord Yahweh will appear unto you. And I believe, let's see, if we go back to Leviticus 8, there we go. The Lord instructed Moses concerning Aaron to anoint them and perform the ritual of consecrating them. And let's see, I think there's a part in here. It's going down. And so this is the whole ritual. He washes Aaron and his sons. He gets the animals and so on and so forth. And I'm trying to remember if the Lord said that he would. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't say it in this chapter. I thought I saw it in there about the Lord saying that he would come and he would appear unto them. But here Moses is saying it in Leviticus 9 and 4. Right? So they would perform these sacrifices and the Lord would appear unto them. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tabernacle of the congregation. And all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. And that is, before the tabernacle. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord Yahweh commanded that ye should do. And the glory of the Lord shall appear unto you. So go ahead, perform these sacrifices, complete the ritual of consecration, and the Lord is gonna, he's gonna show his glory, right, and make his presence known. And Moses said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar, and offer thy sin offering and thy burnt offering, and make an atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make atonement for them, as the Lord Yahweh commanded. So this would be Aaron actually officially, having been consecrated as priest, performing the sacrifice upon the altar. Aaron therefore went unto the altar and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses. And the flesh and the hide, which is the skin, he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering. And remember, if they in the process of sacrifice, right, if they had to, because the Lord gave the law, right, concerning dumping of the ashes and so on, there would be certain garments they would put on as they approached the altar, and then they would take those garments off, put on different garments to leave the tabernacle, to go and burn the flesh without the camp, or dump out the ashes. So the Lord was very specific in the things or the rites or the rituals concerning sacrificing and really any form of service to him. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering of the altar. So basically, after they cut up the animal into pieces, they washed it, right, the inwards and all that, and then they burnt it upon the altar for a burnt offering. And he brought the people's offerings, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people. So first was the offering for his sin, and then for the people. And slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. So the same way he did the first one for himself. Then he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. Same way he did the first burnt offering. And he brought the meat offering, and took an handful thereof, and burnt it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. So in addition to the burnt sacrifice of the morning, he also offered up or burnt up this meat offering of the people. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, and the rump, which is the hind, the back part, and that which covered the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver, so the fat of the insides and the kidneys. And they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. So they put the fat upon the breasts as as part of the ritual, but then he ended up burning the fat upon the altar, because that portion would belong to the Lord. And then the breast and the right shoulder Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord, as Moses commanded. So that's why he put it on the breast, to perform the actual rite or movement of waving it as a wave offering. But then he ended up burning the actual fat of it, right, to the Lord. And Aaron lifted up his hand toward the toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of the congregation, and came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of the Lord Yahweh appeared unto all the people. And this could have been like an actual chariot that maybe appeared up close. It could have been, in whatever shape or form it was, but we know that it wasn't like the Most High himself, right? It wasn't like they saw the Most High, his head, his face, and all that. But nonetheless, right, they saw his glory. And there came a fire out from before the Lord, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat. Which is why, I said that this is likely a chariot, because we know that they can shoot those beams, right? Just like the Lord did when he discomfited the chariots of the Egyptians, right? Now it doesn't explicitly say that, so I'm saying this as an extrapolation here, right? That it could be. So here you could imagine this being like a beam, like a laser beam that comes from the chariot, or it could have been, the Lord could have had it be just actual fire that just fell down. Okay. But nonetheless, we know that the fire came down. Okay. And consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their faces. And when you go into that shouted, it's more of like a kind of like an amazement, but also fear and reverence at the same time, but also joy, right? Ranan, it says here, to overcome, to be overcome, to cry out, to shout for joy, give a ringing cry, to give a ringing cry in joy, exaltation, distress. So they witnessed this, and obviously it was a great sight to see. Hence, as it says, through that fear but also joy, they fell upon their faces in obeisance and reverence to Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushai. And that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 9th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.